And our talk of the challenge today here on AM 1390 KRFO will focus in on the Steele County Historical Society, and Mike Jensen joins us. A number of things coming up. We're going to be focusing in on your World Brewfest and food and all kinds of good stuff coming up at the History Center.
It is. Thank you for letting us be here this morning. We're super excited about this annual event, Around the World Food and Brewfest. It's actually a joint effort between the Steele County Historical Society and Culture Fest. Many of your listeners, I'm sure, are familiar with Culture Fest. It happens the fourth Saturday in September every year. And this is one way the two organizations come together and raise some funds for both organizations.
And then we better get the important stuff: when, where, and talk a little bit about tickets.
When, where, and tickets. The event itself will be held February 19th, so just around the corner. Tickets are going extremely fast, and there is a limited number of tickets, so we do encourage folks to get their tickets now or as soon as possible. They can be picked up at all the standard locations, from the History Center, the Kotke Jewelers, Triumph Graphics. You can also get them online by visiting either organization's website, culturefest.org or steelehistorymuseum.org. You can order them online. Or there are any of the committee members are running around town with tickets as well. So I have tickets in my pockets. So if you want any today, I can sell you some.
Okay. And the only way you get them at the door, if there would be any left over, obviously.
If they're available. And the way they're going this year, they're going super fast. So I wouldn't wait or hold out for that.
Okay. And what you do, you get to experience all kinds of... Well, will you start off first off with...
Let's talk
the
a little bit about the event or the
Yeah.
evening and how it works. Starting at 5 o'clock, our home brewers will be there. We have 10 home brewers this year, and I will see, I think I have all of their names here. We have Mark Sebring, Terrence Flynn, Gary Muckow, Corey Borcher, Doug Holmes, Peter Cook, Todd Andricks, and Seth Muir. All of these homebrewers are vying for the People's Choice Award, and the only way they can win the People's Choice Award is if you vote for them. So it's a judging contest where you get an opportunity to sample each of their brews, and then you get to vote on which one you think deserves the People's Choice Award. So that starts at 5 o'clock and will continue on throughout the evening as long as supplies last, or that sort of thing. And then at 6 o'clock, we open up the food area and the food tasting. When Culture Fest originally started this event, we actually picked specific countries. Like there was German Brewfest, Irish Brewfest, British Brewfest. But then when the History Center came into being, the Historical Society approached us and said, have you ever thought about doing kind of a tour around the world with the food and changing all the food stations up each year, and then keeping your brew consistent? And we thought, that makes sense. So this year we actually have 10 countries that will be represented in our food court area. And the way that it works is you'll get a little ticket for each of those countries, a ticket that you can take in exchange for the food. And you'll get an opportunity to sample food from El Salvador, Germany, Latvia, China, Russia, Haiti, Syria, Canada, Mexico, and Italy. So you truly walk away with a very full tummy by the end of the evening with lots of good foods.
How do you go about saying, well, Syria, well, let's call such and such, they're good cooks of Syrian? How do you find people?
Part of what we do is, as a committee, we brainstorm, and we try and make sure we have a nice cross-section of items so that we're not all one thing or another. There's a nice variety of food. And then, some people will throw out different dishes or ideas, and then we look for a country that maybe would be a good country of origin for that. With Syria, we're going to be tabbouleh, which is a salad. It's kind of a parsley, tomato, cucumber salad. It's really good. Typically, more Middle Eastern, and so it fits within Syria and something that would be served within Syria.
And folks like the Historical Society, some volunteers may be able to make that then?
A lot of the food is actually made right at the Historical Society. We've been already working on a lot of the food because it can be frozen and then we can prep it that evening or refrigerate it. So we've been working on a lot of that ahead of time, getting it ready. For us, it helps drive the costs down if we're, making those foods ourselves as a committee in a licensed kitchen. So in the Historical Society, we're very fortunate it has that kitchen for us. So we've been able to do a lot of that way.
Do you know offhand any other foods, actually by name, that you could mention? That
I do. Not
about?
that I'll pronounce them correctly, but I do know many of them.
Taste good. Who cares,
That's right. El Salvador will have papasas, which is a thick corn tortilla with cheese, seasoned pork, and beans. From Germany, we'll have Steve's Meat Market bratwurst, but served like they've never been served before. They're served on a pretzel roll that is just to die for, along with a warm red cabbage, which is phenomenal. It's really, really good stuff. It's kind of a sweet cabbage.
Okay.
So it's really good. Latvia will be, it's Praga or Pragi or something like Pragi, I think they pronounce it. It's a bacon, ham, and cheese in a breaded roll. So doesn't that just sound good?
Oh, yeah.
I'm all over that. For China, we're doing egg rolls. For Russia, it's pelmeni is what it's called. It's like a dumpling filled with ground pork and beef. And I believe they also have a turkey option on that one as well for those that might have some dietary restrictions. For Haiti, we're doing a pumpkin soup. So that'll be something good. We talked about Syria. For desserts, you can't be without those desserts. Canada, we're doing buttered tarts. From Mexico, a pumpkin empanadas pastry. And then we're doing gelato from Italy. So to round it off, a little bit of chocolate to cap off your evening's experience.
Okay, it's just kind of fun having you list all that stuff.
We should do that before lunch, should we?
Yeah, really. Now, of course, you have the beers you can sample. What about other things to drink at the event?
We will have a cash bar available with a variety of different options, for people. There's both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks available. I know that they've worked hard to try and find some beer pairings that would go with the various countries that we've talked about. So there'll be some, a nice variety or selection there that evening for folks as well. Mm-hmm. So it makes for a really fun evening, and for $25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I suppose if you wanted to mix and match, since you have a certain amount for each one, if you wanted 3 samplings of El Salvador, if you could find someone you could swap your tickets.
There are a few people that will swap out. One of the comments that we get is that there is a lot of pork, and there's a fair amount of pork in this menu. For some, that's a sensitive issue, and they would prefer not to. The nice thing with that is there's enough other things at each of the stations. You typically can get a nice plateful, and or you can look at maybe doubling up on something that doesn't have the pork. Usually it works out that way. Of all the years we've been doing it, and I think this will be our 4th, I don't think I've ever made it all the way around the world with the food because there's just so much. I'm full before I get to the end. Mm-hmm. So
we're talking to Mike Jensen, Steele County Historical Society. Let's just kind of recap again, Mike. It's the Food and Brewfest, when, where, and talk about tickets again.
Around the World Food and Brewfest will be February 19th. It's a Friday evening, starting at 5 o'clock with the homebrew judging. The food sampling opens at 6. $25. Very inexpensive evening of fun entertainment. Lots of good things, good chance to get out and socialize, invite some friends, go have a good, fun evening. Like we said, there will be a cash bar available. You also get admission to all of the History Center exhibits because those will still be up, which are Vietnam, LTO, and Ellendale exhibits will still be up for you to look at and view. So just a nice, fun evening for everyone involved. There will be a silent auction table. We do that each year. Oftentimes it's made up of some of the foods and things that you've sampled that evening, and you can buy them frozen to take home to prepare. So it's some things that you won't find other places. We're not out, soliciting and knocking on the doors of businesses. We do usually grab in a few growlers and some other things from some various micro brews that you can have that you can't get other places on the silent auction.
And of course, Valentine's is on Sunday, so it's still close enough to Valentine's Day. Just a few days
I actually have heard of a couple of people that this is their Valentine's gift to their sweetheart, is taking them out to this evening, and they're going to give them the tickets on Valentine's Day. So
there you go. It's February 19th, and that's part of the Steele County Historical Society, and that's our Talk of the Town for today on AM 1390.